Hey, shalom everyone. Rabbi Derek here, Beth Messiah Synagogue, squeaking in just before sundown on counting our Omer. It's day 9, which is 1 week and 2 days of the Omer. Of course, we're bridging the gap between Passover and Shavuot, counting 49 days in between until the 50th day, which will be Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks, Pentecost. Yesterday we were in Matthew 5, the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount. I'm going to stay in Matthew 5 today and bring your attention starting in verse 14. Matthew 5:14. You, Yeshua speaking to us as believers, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor does anyone light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. You know, this is, I think, first and foremost, an identity issue. In Messiah, we're not supposed to constantly be identifying ourselves with sin and our sinful nature. I recognize and I understand that there are believers that feel they need to be constantly reminded of their sinfulness in order that they force themselves to glorify Yeshua for anything good in them. Saying, Yeshua saved me. There's nothing good about me. All the good is about him. And I understand that perspective. But as far as I can tell, from that perspective, what I'm constantly doing is marking myself and identifying myself with sin, focusing more on where I fall short, more than the new identity that Messiah has given me. That's not to say that we're meant to ignore sinful behavior in our lives. We certainly not. We're not supposed to act like we're perfect in a physical way, because we're not. As we follow Messiah, he draws up the patterns of the old man, the perspectives of our old lives that we didn't even realize we still had sometimes. And the reason he draws them to the surface is so that he can minister to us, strengthen us, show us where it's wrong, and help us to get rid of it. We're no longer shackled to it. We're certainly not identified by it. What we're identified by as followers of Messiah is his light. He has filled us with his light. He has called us to be on the offensive to the world. The world is in darkness. The world meaning that is defined by sin and being lost and fallen. But we are beacons of his light. That's a powerful identity. So I encourage you, as followers of Yeshua, identify with his light. Yes, he's going to bring up sinful behavior, sinful perspectives that we have, but it's not who we are on the whole. Who we are on the whole is we belong to him, and we reflect his light. There's really no competition between darkness and light. Physically speaking, darkness is just the absence of light. Wherever there is light, darkness cannot exist. And the same is true, spiritually speaking, for us as believers. We're meant to be reflectors of his light. What a beautiful calling that is. What an honor it is to reflect the light of the Lord, his character, his power, his word, his loving nature, and allow him to do good and bless the world through us. That's where we want our identity to be. So chew on that today. Let the Lord minister to you. We'll see you tomorrow for the next daily devotional. Thanks. Shalom.